3, 2, 1, go! Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Easy right. Long medium right. Check one. Easy right. Over jump. Easy left. Easy left, easy right. Very long easy right, baby.
Hello beautiful people, Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And I'm feeling a bit nostalgic. Ugh. Hello beautiful people, Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's game review time and I'm feeling a little nostalgic. Going all the way back to the game that kickstarted my 32-bit era. It may not have been the first game or the first console to do 32-bit graphics, or at least say they did 32-bit graphics. But the Sega Saturn was my first entry into it. My older brother had bought one, and with that bought the launch titles that came with it, which of course is this game. It's Sega Rally, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. Released on the Sega Saturn all the way back in 1995, Sega Rally Championship was the first game that made me believe the future had arrived. Before I was used to playing Outrun, Micro Machines. Although I love Micro Machines, but here was this gorgeous arcade racer that allowed you, the player, to drive on different surfaces. That was such a cool thing. Seeing mud splash up across the car as you drove through patches of it, all while struggling to keep control of the car, ranks up there as one of my best Sega Saturn memories, of which there are, to be fair, too few. However, take away the memories and nostalgia, and Sega Rally really is as bare bones as you get. You kind of forget that until you re-look at it. You enter a world championship made up of three stages. Desert is the opening stage, beginner, followed by forest, intermediate difficulty, before mountain, the expert difficulty, caps it off. The ending position of the last race determines the starting of the next, with the aim to be in first place by the end of the final race. Very arcadey. Additional challenge comes from a time limit, but should you be successful, you will unlock an additional race called Lakeside. So there is actually technically 4. As well as World Championship, there is also a time attack mode, cooperative play, and competitive multiplayer split screen. These modes managed to extend the gameplay somewhat, but with only 3 cars to choose from, it's not long before you played every race and every mode with every car. In this day and age, such a lack of content would simply be unacceptable, and particularly for the price this game was released at the time. But Sega Rally is an arcade port, when arcade machines were considered important and popular. So it's easy to look back and say unacceptable, but it's better to acknowledge just how far racing games have come since this, and acknowledge how much of a bar setter this game was. Sega Rally was a milestone in racing games, in that the surface textures affected how the vehicle handled. What Colin McRae Rally, another fabulous game, or what I consider to be one of my favourite rally game from yesteryear, did the same thing many years later. How ahead of its time was Sega Rally? Now, it is looking a bit ropey by today's standards, of course, and the total lack of content doesn't seem right, even for a game from 1995, if you consider what was released around it or afterwards too. It is, though, still, I think, a really good rally game that sets the bar high for every racing game that came after. It is best enjoyed in the arcade, of course, but if you're like me and, you were there at the start of the Sega Saturn, this game just holds a special place, likely in your heart as it does mine. What do you reckon, though? You got any thoughts you want to share? Anything you know what to do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.